Hi, I'm Trisha Dunlap with Dunlap Law in Richmond, Virginia. We're a small business law firm, and our mission is to help business leaders thrive. I'm here today to talk with you a little bit about the new Families First Coronavirus Response Act, the FFCRA, which became effective law on April 1st, 2020. If you are an employer, this is an important law to understand and comply with because it gives your employees two new rights under the law. I'm here to give you a brief overview of it so that you can begin to understand what the law requires. Of course, for you to be sure that you're complying with the law, you need to consult with an attorney so that you're sure that whatever actions and decisions you're making will actually bring you into compliance. This video is just a short overview guide so that you can begin to formulate questions for your attorney. So first, it's important to understand that the FFCRA applies to all employers with fewer than 500 employees. Now, there is an important exemption, maybe, if you are an employer with fewer than 50 employees and providing the benefits I'm about to talk about would jeopardize the viability of your business, then you can apply for an exemption from this law from the Department of Labor. Now, I have to stress, nobody really knows what it means, whether or not this would jeopardize the viability of your business. We don't have any guidelines or standards yet from the Department of Labor on how they're going to determine the meaning of that phrase. That phrase has really not ever been used in law before, that I could find at least. So stay tuned on that. Meanwhile, here's what you should know to begin to think about complying. The FFCRA provides two new rights for your employees. The first one extends the existing Family Medical Leave Act, which was originally passed back in the 90s. The Family Medical Leave Act, under the new version of the FFCRA, provides your employees with up to 12 weeks of job-protected leave if they cannot work because they have a minor child whose school or daycare has closed because of the coronavirus, and that's why they can't work. The first 2 weeks of leave are unpaid. The following 10 weeks have to be paid leave, and the pay needs to equal 66% of their existing, normal pay rate. This benefit kicks in 30 days after you've hired an employee. So if you have an employee who's been with you for more than 30 days, they're already eligible. If you hire somebody new between now and December 31st, while the law is in effect, then there'd be a 30-day window before the law kicks in. So that's the first important benefit to understand. And again, that applies to all businesses that have fewer than 500 employees, unless you get the exemption I mentioned earlier. The second benefit is the emergency paid sick leave. This provides for up to 2 weeks of paid leave at, depending on the reason they're out, up to 100% of their normal pay rate. This applies to all employees, regardless of when you hired them, and it applies immediately upon hire. This is also regardless of whether or not they're full-time or part-time. They're going to get this benefit if they meet one of the 6 reasons under the law for qualifying for the paid leave. All the 6 reasons concern coronavirus and whether or not the employee is sick with it or a similar condition, whether or not the employee is caring for an individual who is sick with it. At any rate, there are 6 reasons that employees can use to get this entitled paid sick leave. And I have more information about those 6 reasons on an extensive guide to the FFCRA on our website, which is dunlaplawplc.com. We have a whole page there dedicated to COVID-19 resources, and you'll find, I think it's a 5-page guide that I wrote to the FFCRA on that page. So the short takeaway is you need to be ready to provide paid leave to your employees at either 66% of their current pay rate or at 100% of their current pay rate, depending on the reason why they need to leave. The Department of Labor has also put out a standardized poster so that all of your employees have notice of their new rights under the law. Posting this in a prominent place, or if you have remote workers, sharing it with them by email is mandatory. So you want to make sure you get this poster and have it available to your employees. You can get that off of our website as well. Finally, something else you need to be thinking about is whether or not your existing policies address the new concerns that have arisen with the coronavirus, and making sure that your existing employee policies are aligned with both the FFCRA and also the types of behaviors that you are going to want to require of your employees, both on and off the job. I've got another video on that coming shortly. But meanwhile, please be aware of the FFCRA, which went into effect on April 1st, 2020, and will be effective until December 31st, 2020. From Dunlap Law in Richmond, Virginia, I'm signing out. I hope you and your family are staying well. Thank you.